Good evening, I'm Melissa, and you're probably confused as to why I'm switching fertilizers again because I just switched to one not that long ago. For those that know me and have watched my channel for a while, you guys know that I was gung-ho on Osmocote Plus. I love Osmocote and I still use it from time to time. The issue I had with it is it's only good for 3 to 4 months. And with as many plants as I have, I couldn't stay on top of adding a fresh supply, and then I would repot during that time, and it got to be really confusing to keep up with. So I made the decision to switch to a liquid fertilizer. One, because I never really used a liquid. I used liquid dirt back in the day, and I didn't really care for liquid dirt. It was right when I was beginning my plant journey. So I decided to go with the GT Foliage Focus, and mostly because I wanted something that was going to be easier, and I also branched out and tried Lechuza Pond, so I know I needed some kind of hydroponic fertilizer. So I went with this one, and I was a little cautious at first just because I don't know how my plants would respond. So I started off with a very gentle dose, and then each week I felt like I kind of was increasing the amount and frequency. So if I were to keep up with using this, it would only honestly last me a month and a half to 2 months at most. And I would have to repurchase this several times throughout the year. And I think this is around $42 for a liter, which is pretty expensive for a fertilizer. So that's one thing to think about with this one. And I knew that purchasing it, that I would probably be going through this a lot. But the issue that I'm having, and it could just be me, a user error, because I'm still learning with the liquid fertilizer, but I had some issues with my Monstera adansonii behind me. I'm going to show you. I think it's an underfeeding problem just because I feel like there's some kind of nitrogen deficiency with my adansonii. It started to yellow again and stress, and although I was increasing the feeding to the max on here that it suggests, I feel like it's not enough. And I feel like it's so big now that it really just needs a lot more nutrients. And if I were to keep up with such a high dose for all of my plants, like I said, I'm going to run out of this so quickly. And I don't really want to spend $40+ every month and a half to feed my plant collection. I also want to say with GT, if you are in the US, this is harder to get a hold of as far as shipping goes. You can buy this liter on Amazon now, and it ships from a plant shop in California. And I did purchase this through Amazon, and it did take over 2 weeks to get to me. I did 3 weeks ago buy the 5-liter jar of this from that plant shop, as well as their root zone to try out. I'm kind of waiting on them to respond back to me because they said they shipped it out. I ordered it mid-December, and I haven't gotten it yet. It's been, like I said, over 3 weeks, and I'm just very disappointed in the fact that I spent $150 on new products, and it's been over 3 weeks, and I'm almost out. Like I said, this won't even water my entire plant collection tonight. I just bought Foliage Pro, and I'm gonna give it a go. So I've never used Foliage Pro, and I know I can use it with hydroponic plants because all of my pond, I just wanted something that would feed all of my plants. So I went with this one, and I've heard great things. Like I said, I was kind of tossed between these two. I'm honestly not sure how these two compare in terms of their nutrition factors, but I believe the Foliage Pro has more nutrients, or at least the micronutrients. The dose on the Foliage Pro, you have to use less of this to water your plants. And this was only I think I paid $21 for this. So again, that's the reason that made me buy this, is because if this is going to be difficult for me to get every time I go to purchase it, that's just a hassle I don't want to deal with. And like I said, if I'm using the max dose that this recommends and my plants are still wanting more, then how much more do I actually need to feed? And I think that's just going to take time to figure out what my plants want based off like their response. So I don't know long term what I'm going to do with fertilizer. I think for now I'm just going to start using this because I'm out of this. Give it a go and just see how my plants respond. So I'm not completely ruling out GT. And like I said, I've had great results from GT and my plants really seem to love it. I'm concerned I'm not feeding enough and I'm going through it way too fast. So that's my concern. And of course, the speed at which this is available to me, it's not ideal. So now the second part of this video is I'm going to mix this up and I'll show you what I'm doing and I'll check my pH with you. And then I'm going to show you the plants that I'm concerned about and why I think there's an issue possibly going on with the lack of nutrients. And kind of go from there if you're curious in that. But yeah, like I said, I just have to make my mind up what I want to use. I don't think either one of these is wrong or right. I think it just is what's more convenient for you and what your plants like best. And since I haven't tried this, I just don't know yet. So after I try this, I think for a few months, and I have a comparison, I will let you know my final thoughts. But yeah, that's really the reason. So yeah, I'm going to figure out how much of this I need to add, and then I'll show you that real quick. We'll check our pH and make sure that's good. I might have to let this sit in my water for a little bit, and then I'm going to show you the plants and kind of figure out what's going on with them. So I have 5 like roughly jugs here. This one is silica, so that doesn't count. So I just did the production dose. I wasn't sure what to do, and the production here says 1 teaspoon per gallon and apply weekly, and there's a maintenance dose. So I just did a teaspoon measurement and dumped it in there. So I haven't added my pH down. I'm gonna let this fertilizer sit for like 10 minutes and just let it absorb in this water for a minute. And then I'm gonna check the pH and adjust if I need to. So I usually do adjust it to roughly a 6 for my pH level, but I know like fertilizer and stuff can affect the pH. So I'm just gonna kind of let it sit here and we'll kind of go from there. I'm a little nervous using a new fertilizer on my plants, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't honestly have an issue with too many plants. There's just a certain few that's kind of bugging me. So the Adansonii, I had just did a whole like progress video on Monstera Adansonii, and you can see those bottom leaves are all yellow. And so I just repotted the base last night. It is now in a bigger pot. You can see down there, and I have to water her pole yet. I'm going to do that here with the fertilizer once it adjusts. So that to me seems like it's a nitrogen deficiency, and I was watering her with the fertilizer twice a week. So not even once a week. I was adding the fertilizer twice a week, and I'm still having, she seems deficient. So I did add a capful of Osmocote in her pot too, just to have it in there, because I didn't want her to be without any nutrients, and I gave her some of that Marfil soil enhancer just to give her a little boost and hopefully quit yellowing. It's even like on here, you can see some of the yellowing like on the edges here, which I never had with this plant before, so I'm not really sure. And I just sprayed her with silica as well. All of my other poles seem okay as far as like them getting enough nutrients. I haven't really noticed too much of anything else lacking. Like I said, I've gotten lots of good growth. I feel like my plants are happy for the most part with the GT, and I felt like I was getting like an increase in leaf size and all of that. So it may just be a user error. Like I said, I think maybe I'm just not, maybe it just needs more than what I'm giving it. The plant that I most worry about is my Alocasia Micholitziana. I don't know if you can tell, the leaf is yellowing and it's happening on multiple leaves. And I'm not sure what to make of this. Do you see how yellow that is? And it's there, as well as it's happening here on this leaf, and you can see there. This here was the newest leaf, and it is smaller, Some of these leaves back here, like that one has a little bit of yellowing there. I think that one has a little bit too, kind of starting. So what I'm gonna do, I had just added GT in her reservoir a couple weeks ago because it was like, I started her in pond as like a stump in June. So she was using the Lechuza fertilizer for a while. And so they say it's good for 6 months. So I felt like she needed nutrients. So this is what I followed. I did 7 mLs per liter for semi-hydro. So that's what I've been using in her reservoir. And yeah, she hasn't really perked up since I did that. So I'm not really sure. I feel like it has to be some kind of imbalance, nutrient or something issue with the water that's in the reservoir. So I actually don't know how much water is in her reservoir. I haven't watered my plants. Like I said, I'm a little bit behind today. So I'm going to take her out and see if I can check her pH, and I'm going to give her a flush through with water. And then I'm going to add the Foliage Pro into her reservoir and kind of just go from there. Everyone else seems okay for the most part in here. I would say the only other plant that I'm concerned that's having the same yellowing issues is my Monstera obliqua. It's really overdue for an extension. You can see those runners that are growing off the pole. I'm going to redo this pole along with that one next week. But a lot of these leaves here, you can just see yellowing along the edges there. And I feel like there's some kind of nutrient issue with that one as well. Maybe that one's just wanting more nutrients. I have been a little slack with that pole lately as far as like watering it and stuff. So that's probably my fault. But it's just something that I'm noting is just like the yellowing. I didn't really have this with Osmocote. So I'm just a little concerned that since it's a liquid, I'm just not doing it right. So let's go ahead and test our pH now. I think it's sat for about 10 minutes. And we're gonna check the pH of the Micholitziana back there, and I'm gonna start watering, but I'm gonna end this video after the whole like pH thing because yeah, I just did like plant care watering day. So you guys kind of are somewhat updated on how I water my poles and everything. All right, we are going to check our pH. I have a little dropper. I would say it's close to a 7, so I just need to figure out how much of the pH down. I'd like to bring it down to about a 6. So I'm going to put 2 drops of the pH down. Give it a little shake again. All right, that's yellow. That is closer to a 6, which I'm happy with. So normally I've been adding 4 drops with the GT to bring it down to about a 6. So I only had to add 2 in my little jugs. These are a little bit less than a gallon, so I'll probably add 3 drops into this one and I'll check this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 drops into all of these. Okay, yeah, 3 drops is good for that one. All right, so our pH is adjusted to about a 6. So we are good to start watering. I'm gonna bring you back into my plant room and we're gonna check on the Micholitziana and the pH of that. I mean, overall, she does seem happy. I feel like she's pushing growth a little bit more slowly now. And I feel like I said, she's unhappy with something. So we're gonna check her pH. Look at all the corms popping out. Do you see all those? I have here just regular water, nothing filtered, added to it or anything. And I have a bin because I'm going to flush her out. All right, let's take a peek in here. Maybe she's root bound because there's a lot of roots coming out of here. Do you see? Shoot, I might have to get like a new pot size for her. I don't have any larger self-waterings right now. I think this is a 7 inch. I might have to go get a 6 or a 10 inch. I might have to order one. So maybe she's rooted in here. Maybe she's just stressed. That could be a reason. The only way to really know is actually like undoing this. But like I said, I don't want to do that right now. Do you see? I'm like pushing away the pond, and you can just see all those roots here. I think she's rooted severely, which makes sense because she's a pretty big plant right now. Oh shoot, there's another corm that's coming off. Hi, Chai. So the pH is like an 8. It looks like an 8. I wonder why the pH is so high. Maybe like a 7. It's between a 7 and an 8. Let me rinse her out really good. I know some people don't rinse out their pond, but I just feel like salt and mineral deposits and like fertilizer just kind of build up in here. So I just like to, I'm trying to get in the habit of doing it once a month, where I just take regular water and just kind of flush it through. Now it says hydroponic production, use 2 to 3 teaspoons Foliage Pro per gallon of water in recirculating systems, or 1 teaspoon non-recirculating. So this would be a non-recirculating system. So 1 teaspoon per gallon, which I already did for this. All right, so I guess it's the same for hydroponics as it would be for soil plants, is what I'm thinking. All right, so she's been rinsed through. I'm sorry, Miss Micholitziana, if you've been root bound and that's why you're angry at me. So thank you for watching. I just wanted to fill you in and update you because in case you see me using a different fertilizer or you're wondering why I'm using the Foliage Pro instead, and I'll definitely keep you updated. I don't think either is like wrong or right to use. I'm all for experimenting, and that's kind of how I like to do things. I just like to use things for myself and just see how it goes for me personally. But yeah, I am going to do a bunch of watering in here tonight, and I'm excited to just see how it goes here. I hope I can get my whole fertilizer situation figured out for big Adansonii over there. I think what I'm probably just gonna have to do is just increase the amount of feed that I'm giving her. I think she's just a hungry plant because she's so big, you know? Same with the Fryedeck, it's a huge plant. So I think upsizing her will definitely help. And I think I was probably a little bit behind on giving her nutrients, which caused her to be a little bit more stressed. And then I think with the Oblique, it's probably just underwatering mixed with, again, lack of nutrients, because I'm just not giving enough. But yeah, if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. If you have any like tips on using Foliage Pro, if 1 teaspoon per gallon isn't enough and I should be using more, definitely let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good evening, and I will talk to you again here soon.